Hey, how's your morning going?
Good morning. I'm glad you're here.
It's always a good morning on Triad Today with Jeffrey Griffin.
News Talk Sports to the Triad, WSJS. It is 7:24. I'm Jeffrey. That's Christian. Thanks for being here. Wherever you're going, whatever you're doing, take us along for the ride. We're available around the clock, around the world, online at WSJS.com. And just a reminder, the Jerry Hunt Supercenter High School Football Game of the Week on tap tomorrow night with Dave Pulaski and Drew Brackett. Jerry Hunt Supercenter. They buy more, they sell more, you save more. Dave and Drew are going to have the call. Our coverage gets underway tomorrow night at 6:30. Kickoff from the Crater at 7 p.m. It's a conference showdown as the Demons of R.J. Reynolds welcome in the Reagan Raiders. And, of course, the winner of that game is going to have a step ahead because that is just a murderer's row in conference play. Boy, you've got undefeated Reynolds. You've got Reagan's getting a lot of love, some top 10 votes this season in the 7A classification in the state of North Carolina. They've still got to deal with West. They've still got to deal with East. So pick up every win when you can. Going to be a good one. Again, that's Reynolds and Reagan tomorrow night. Our coverage at 6:30 with Dave Pulaski and Drew Brackett. All right, let's share some good news, shall we? Sometimes the world can just feel heavy and dark and complaining and finger pointing and excuses. So let's talk about something that make you feel a little bit better. How about this story? Here, a lady writes, my disabled son swims in the pool at the gym with a personal trainer. We pay ahead for the time in half-hour units. But this reason, for this month, we went in, and for reasons unknown, somebody had already paid the bill. I don't know who did it, but I'm eternally grateful. Now, we always talk about how easy it is to commit a random act of kindness, and a lot of times it doesn't take money. It can be extending some grace, holding the door open, letting somebody merge, saying something kind when the world only has negative things to shout and clamor about, right? And then sometimes, if you can and if you feel led, you get out the debit card, you write a check, you put your hand in your pocket, and you pull out the cash. And obviously, here is a family that's got their hands full with a young person with disabilities, and they're trying to make the most of it and keep the kid involved, and they're doing the best they can. And can you imagine what would you do if that were you? So how can you help? Maybe it's somebody who saw this scene unfold, time and time again at the pool, and they said, all right, I'm not a swimmer. I don't know that family, but if I can, maybe I'll just get out the credit card and let me pay for the next lesson. So there you go. Extend some grace. Commit a random act of kindness. You never know, and that will change the trajectory of a life or maybe even the world. I'm always boondoggled. I've shared this story before, and I think of it often. I worked at a hospital long ago, another life. I know, it was a long time ago. And on paydays, I would go and buy a bag of Hershey Kisses, just little Hershey Kisses, right? It's a plop of chocolate wrapped in tinfoil. No big deal, with a little flag on it. And I would walk around after lunch. I would walk around at the hospital, and when I would see someone that looked a little bit down or worried or concerned or carrying a burden, I would hand them a kiss. No words, no story, just no hugs, none of that, just a kiss. And sometimes people would just take it and in gratitude and go on. Other times somebody would look at you and they'd say, well, what are you doing? Just a kiss. I want you to know somebody was thinking about you today. There's a little nugget of joy for you. And I can't tell you how often people would stop and smile. And it was as if the weight of the world were lifted off their shoulders, at least for that moment. And what did that cost at the time? What was it, $2 for a bag of Hershey Kisses? I mean, really nothing. You can do that. You have that capacity. That power lies totally within your domain. So if you want to pay for swim lessons for a disabled family, do that. You want to pass out Hershey Kisses? Do that. You want to hold the door open and smile and tell somebody, hey, you have a great Thursday. Go and do that. It'll be well worth the time. That is the good news. We'll be back with a lot more in News Talk Sports of the Triad, WSJS.